everything changes.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into the channel. It's Wednesday, March 10th, 2021. And unfortunately, I have to make this video, and I haven't made or mentioned this video in quite some time. I do cover it in my training package as part of my buying strategies, but I want to cover it here publicly because I think it's super important, and I think that a lot of you really need to have this reinforced all the time. And there's a story that came out a couple days ago involving a realtor in Louisiana who was selling a dirt bike through Facebook Marketplace. The dirt bike was $2,800. He met up with the potential buyer, and unfortunately he was shot and killed sitting in his vehicle trying to make the transaction for the dirt bike, which he had an SUV and he was towing the dirt bike behind him on a trailer. A gentleman came up to him, shot him, I think through the window or through the door, killed him, moved his body into the back of the SUV and drove the SUV away, abandoned the SUV in the trailer somewhere, and drove the dirt bike back to the apartment complex where they had originally met to do the deal. And this was through Facebook Marketplace, mind you. And I am 100% going to say that I don't blame Facebook Marketplace at all. We've read the stories over the years where this has happened on Craigslist, it's happened on OfferUp, on LetGo, it's happened through any of the local meetup sites. I even saw a robbery that happened through that Free Cycle, the free website, whatever that used to exist. So this is not a marketplace issue or an individual platform issue. This is a generalized global issue of meeting up with people to do business, buying or selling through any platform. And so I want to give you a couple of rules that I go by, and these are non-negotiable. The rules I'm going to give you in my business are non-negotiable, and I can promise you there's probably no one watching this video that has met up with more people locally to do deals than I have, and made more mistakes than I have locally meeting up with people. And thankfully nothing bad happened to me. Many years ago I decided to carry a gun because of meeting up with so many people. I was meeting anywhere from 15 to 20 people a day, 7 days a week for probably 2 straight years. I met up with thousands of people, I promise you, all day long. It was my whole business, because buying from local sources were the best ways to get a constant flow of merchandise and at the best price. So here are the rules that I wish I had known then that I know now. So number one is never meet anybody either at your home, where you live, at somebody else's home, even close to your home, really, really close to your home, because they can follow you. So you don't want anyone to know where you live, because even if they don't rob you during the transaction, they can come back. And it's happened to us. I had an office, where a place of business, I had a shop, I had both. I had one here and one there, and people would come there and do business with us just to scope the place out, to come back later, and they did it. We were robbed at the warehouse overnight, and they stole $5,000 or $6,000 worth of merchandise at least, and did thousands more worth of damage breaking in and ripping out the cameras and etc. So never ever let somebody have a way to come to where you are. Don't give them an address. Don't tell them what neighborhood you live in. If you're going to meet them and you meet them at a gas station, let them leave first. Don't let them follow you out. Don't drive straight home. Go a random path, circle, make sure you're not being followed. This all sounds crazy, but it only takes one person and your life could be over. Number two is don't ever meet them at their house or their place of business or anything of that nature. This gentleman in the story that I'm telling you about met them at their apartment complex. They know the territory, they know the routine, they know where they can get in and out of, they know how to sit and watch you, they know how to trap you. Don't give them that opportunity, don't go there. So the third rule is going to cover the first 2 rules encompassing here. Just meet them at somewhere safe, and the 3 places I recommend, some people are like, oh, meet them at a busy grocery store parking lot. Even that can't be safe. There was a guy in 2017, I think if you Google it, met somebody at a busy parking lot and was still shot and killed over, I think it was a dirt bike or a 4-wheeler as well. Somebody was robbed right outside of a 7-Eleven, a busy 7-Eleven for an iPad in California. So meeting at a local business is not really the best of ideas either. Meeting inside of a business could be better. That's probably my lowest ranking suggestion inside a Walmart, right near the customer service or in public. They may not like that, but it's probably safer and it will deter criminals who might be willing to pull something out in a parking lot. Because some of them are high on drugs. They don't care that they're in a busy parking lot, right? There's not a lot that's going to deter them. Being in the store may do it. But my two top answers for where to meet people are always the police station. It's obvious. Don't just go out in the parking lot and not let anybody know that you're there. The police usually set up in a lot of cities a place that you can do transactions inside of the lobby. So, your local police district. So that's the number one best, safest way to go about it. Number two, at least here in Florida, at our local DMV, our motor vehicle, Department of Motor Vehicles, there is typically about 2 to 3 police officers at the building. Usually one is sitting right inside the door, like security at the front door. And there's generally one outside who does like the inspections of vehicles, tags, driver's license. Sometimes they do driving tests there, and there's also officers. So there's typically 2 or 3 officers at that location while they're open. So if you go during that time, I would consider that pretty safe. Just kind of be near them or let them know what you're about to do. That's like rule number 1, always meeting up with people, somewhere safe, somewhere reasonable. Rule number 4, beyond the other 3, let somebody know, let multiple people know where you are going, who you are meeting with, what you are doing, all that sort of stuff. Absolutely, positively let people know what you're up to. So there's a history. Number 5 is never assume anything about the person you're doing business with. So people use burner phones. That's a cell phone that's just like a $10 Walmart phone that they can just throw away. There's no way to track them. Even on Facebook Marketplace, where they might have a profile, it could be completely fake with fake information, fake names. They could hacked into someone's. They could be using a VPN or a private internet. Just if they're up to no good, they're not going to leave much in the way of information to track them down if they're half a brain. Now, criminals aren't smart, we know that, but a lot of them think some of this stuff through. So even if you don't lose your life and you get robbed, you may not have a way to track them down because they are completely anonymous. They've used a fake number, they've used a fake email, a fake Facebook profile, Craigslist, totally anonymous. So, if you can get any information out of them, absolutely do it. Like 100% get as much information as you can and try to make sure who you're meeting up with is legitimate. If you do a transaction where you sell something, check the cash. Fake cash, counterfeit money is very rampant. Learn everything you need to know about it. And no, a pen is not guaranteed. Learn how to look for the watermarks and the security strips. Learn to feel it. Learn what real and fake money has in common and what they don't have in common is the best way. The pens are not 100%. Back in the day, the Aquanet hairspray would fool the pens instead of changing black to changing the yellow color, gold color that they're supposed to. So don't just rely on that, but do make sure you check cash. I don't recommend taking PayPal or checks or anything else because there are ways to cancel them, bad checks, reversals on PayPal. I would do cash, but learn how to check that cash. And if you come across somebody with counterfeit cash, they're probably not a good person. They may unknowingly have received cash that's fake from someone else, but if they know it, they may get aggressive. Just say, hey, I appreciate this, here's your money, and I just don't feel comfortable finishing the transaction, and sorry to have wasted both of our times. Have a wonderful day and get out. The next thing that I would recommend, if you are going to make a habit of meeting people and doing local transactions, a lot of you, I don't care your political views, you may or may not agree with this, but I recommend getting your concealed weapons permit and having a weapon. Protect yourself. If you don't believe in the Second Amendment, I understand. Get yourself some mace. Get yourself pepper spray. Get yourself a stun gun if it's legal in your area. Check your laws. Get yourself a knife. Get yourself something to protect yourself with, a metal baton. Again, every state and city has its own laws, so you'll need to check on that. But I highly recommend CCW. I carry 99% of the time, anywhere that I am or that I'm going, I am probably armed. The only exceptions would be if it's a building or a location that it's against the law, like federal buildings or police stations, or if I'm going to be going to anywhere that serves alcohol. In Florida, you can go in if their sales are less than 50%, but if you consume even one drink, you can't have your weapon on you. So if I am consuming alcohol or I'm planning to have a beer or something, then the gun will either stay at home or stay in the trunk of the car. So that's legal, that's allowed. So yeah, CCW is my high recommendation for you guys. So that's the next one. The reason I come out so strong about all this is because in my training packages and even in some of the videos I've done, I've really pushed you guys to do local transactions, and I still believe in them firmly. Now, I get a lot of stuff sent to me bulk, but I'm actually meeting somebody next Tuesday locally out back in my old near my old house, and I'm going to take all the precautions that I'm telling you guys about. So with that said, if you know the people you're meeting or you're doing business with people in your neighborhood or in your general area, it can be a lot safer. It's not guaranteed, but let me give you an example. The person I'm meeting next week is somebody who follows me off of social media, who's active, who I have seen his name. I have a little bit more than just a random person with a burner phone, so I feel a little more comfortable about it. It's a little safer. I used to do business, the neighborhood, my own neighborhood, which was a pretty good neighborhood, and the neighborhood behind me, which was very wealthy. I met people off the Facebook groups in those neighborhoods who lived in that neighborhood. Now, not to say somebody can't be in the group that doesn't live in the neighborhood and is up to no good, but because I was in that neighborhood, those people were very active on their Facebook neighborhood pages and their group buy, sell, trade pages and all that, and they had pictures of themselves and their family at the neighborhood pool. They're a part of the community. It's a pretty good chance that they're a good person. I'm meeting someone who actually lives in a good neighborhood in a house that's probably $500,000 and is active and is public and faces out there, and there's really a slim chance they're going to be a criminal, right? But if you're meeting somebody, you know, that was the Fish Hawk neighborhood page, but if I'm meeting somebody in the Tampa buy sell trade page that has 100,000 people in it, they could be from anywhere, from any neighborhood, from any apartment complex, from any you know, Section 8, or from any area that just isn't a good part of town. I'm not trying to be discriminatory towards any different parts of Tampa, because there are some good parts of Tampa, there's some bad parts of Tampa, right? But it's just the fact. There's some neighborhoods that are just not as safe as other ones, and we don't know where those people are coming from, as opposed to if we're doing business in a wealthy neighborhood, or at least a family-friendly neighborhood like mine was, that you know, they're out there, they're public, and they're probably least likely to be a criminal. So like my new neighborhood is very much just full of families, and if you came on there to do business with somebody in our new neighborhood page, you would be able to see all of these people, and you'd be able to see all of their friends and family and neighbors like myself. I appear on their pages and they appear on mine, and so on and so forth. So use just a little common sense, guys. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. And unfortunately, I have to make videos like this because I want you guys to be as safe as possible, and I don't want to have to read a news story that one of my viewers became a victim of one of these stupid, senseless crimes, because it was a $2,800 dirt bike, and that's ridiculous that a realtor and a father and a family man lost his life over $2,800 dirt bike. I'm sure if the young man who has been arrested and is admitted to killing him had just pulled the gun and said, "Give me the dirt bike," I'm sure he would have turned over the dirt bike and left, and that would have been the end of it. But they kill witnesses, and I mean, that's just what happens, sadly, sometimes. So unfortunately, it's a tough story, and I apologize for having to bring you that kind of story, and it's for your own good. Just be safe, do things the correct way, use a little bit of common sense. And if you are a buyer and you're buying merchandise off of these platforms, get a bill of sale. Get somebody's driver's license, get somebody's information as much as possible. Tell them you're going to request that information before you go. That way, in case it's ever stolen merchandise or there's a problem with it down the road, you have proof of where you got it from. Be careful. Some people use fake IDs, but you guys get the point. Just use your brain and do things safely. And with that, I'll leave you back to your day. Sorry for that downer of a video. It's sad. I hate reading those stories. I was sitting here reading it on my iPad earlier, and some of you sent it to me. So thank you to those of you that did send it to me. With that, have a wonderful rest of your day and evening. Down below, we added a ton of new inventory. If you just rather have the inventory shipped to you safely, straight from me, or from one of my sellers, authorized sellers, it's all linked below, right to our wholesale website. We have tons and tons of new lots up there. We've probably added 50 new lots in the last few days, including the last few remaining tie boxes, which you guys will be interested in, 99 bucks plus shipping. It's a great deal. There's only a few left. Go grab them. Those links are right below me. If they don't work, please comment and let me know, because they've been having some issues, but they should be okay. Hit that like button. Make sure you turn it blue. It really helps the algorithm, and we appreciate it. And make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future tips, tricks, accounting, reselling, business, entrepreneurship, sales, whatever you want to call this channel, all the above in my future videos. Thank you guys. See you next time.